The time has come to plan your next holiday, but you keep putting it off. Searching for flights, comparing prices, booking hotels is just not your thing. The good news? You might not have to do it yourself. A virtual assistant can now take care of it for you. These intelligent systems are known as AI agents, but their potential goes far beyond travel planning. In this episode of TechTalk, we demystify AI agents and Agentic AI. What they are, what they can and cannot do, and how organizations can use them to boost productivity, spark innovation, and shape the future of work. With real-life examples and honest reflections, we also tackle a big questions. Are we still in charge, or are we setting the stage to be replaced? Our guests, Mehdi Roussaky and Jordi Cabot, share their insights and experiences to help us navigate this evolving space. Mehdi is a manager in the data analytics and AI team at PwC Luxembourg, and Jordi is head of the Software Engineering Research, Development and Innovation Unit at the Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. I'm your host, Christopher Rosa, and this is Tech Talk. Technology made simple over a cup of coffee. So grab your favorite beverage and let's dive right in. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Tech Talk. Today we're going to discuss about Agentic AI, and today is a bit of a special episode because Carla is on holidays. She's enjoying some time off, well-deserved time off, so she's not there to record the episode with us. But today, for this special episode, we have Mehdi and Jordi who will help us to deep dive the topic of Agentic AI. So welcome.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Great. So it's great to have both of you here with us. But before we kick things off, if you can tell us a bit more about yourselves and why you are here today.
So I'm leading the software engineering research team at least, the Luxembourg Institute of Science and Technology. And there we help companies to create better software faster, right? And software today, we all know that needs to be intelligent. That's what people want. So for us, every software system today needs to embed some type of component, intelligent component, like agents, which is the topic of today's discussion.
Yeah. Great. Thanks, Jordi and Mehdi.
Yeah, so I work as a manager in data and AI at PwC Luxembourg. And I have been in the space for the last 7 years now. And honestly, I think it was quite a journey here. I had the chance to work in an exciting project. So happy to be here and speak about Agentic AI.
Great. Then let's start with the first question. So today we hear a lot about Gen AI, agents, and all these matters, but I think we should start by introducing the bit of a definition of these things, because not everyone is familiar with what they are. So how would you explain these concepts in simple terms for people listening, especially in the context of how we use them here in Luxembourg?
Okay, so I can start with that. Let's break it down in a more simple manner here. Let's start with Gen AI. What Gen AI means for public knowledge is generative AI, which means is that you generate stuff like text, videos, images, and so on. So you are generating stuff it's just a prompt that is generated. Whereas we are talking about Gen AI agents, we are adding a new component, which is tools. It's new capabilities that we are adding. It's tools to the Gen AI. So it's not only thinking and generating stuff, but it also has access to additional tools that he can leverage to answer or to be more, let's say, supportive to the user at the end.
Okay. And what would be the difference between Gen AI agents and Agentic AI then? Is it just a bit of a...
So Agentic AI or AI agents are more broad concepts than Gen AI. Gen AI is just a part of the AI agent. So AI agent is the same. It's AI which is equipped with additional tools to support, to help you in your specific task, like calling functions, calling something different. Whereas the Gen AI, it's just only prompt and chat. So that's the main difference here.
Great. Thanks for clarifying this. But now can we look a bit more, let's say now, on the benefits that agents can bring maybe to organizations? So when adopting, let's say, agents, particularly if you can deep dive in terms of productivity and innovation.
Yeah, to me, agents and even more, what would be the next evolution, that is multi-agent systems, right? Where basically you have plenty of agents collaborating and competing against each other to provide the best solution. It's like having an army of junior assistants. And the word junior is important, right? Because again, they have the limitations. But imagine having an army of junior assistants for free. They are not completely free. You need to pay, depending on the LLM that you use. You may need to pay OpenAI or one of these providers. But compared with the cost of a human, they are much cheaper. So this gives you the freedom not only to automate processes and free the manpower, so free the humans to do the more creative tasks, but also give you the chance to be much more ambitious and think about maybe new projects that until now you didn't have the resources to do. And then now, thanks to the agent and this automation, give you the freedom and this manpower or robotic manpower to have new goals for organization and to be able to test much faster new ideas and new products.
Okay. Do you see a big difference, let's say, between just standard Gen AI and agents in terms of benefits that it can bring?
A lot in terms of autonomy. Maybe we can come back to this later.
Yeah.
But for instance, in software development, it's a big change between having an agent that will suggest some part of the code that you can copy and paste to an agent that you give a task or even an issue in your project repository, and the agent reads the issue, thinks the solution, implements the solution, writes the test, runs the test, and so on and so on. So in terms of autonomy, it's a big leap.
Yeah, because agents are a bit more autonomous than in executing the tasks. Maybe to go again one level deeper and a bit more concrete, could you give us some, again, concrete example of typical tasks maybe that you've seen in your work or daily activities where Gen AI agents can support us on our daily work?
If you are looking at our daily work, what you can see also from the OpenAI examples that they were showing some time ago already now, it's, for example, you can book restaurants, you can book your ticket you can book tickets, you can book your meetings, also schedule them automatically. All of that can be automated with Agentic AI, actually.
Well, and your holidays.
Sorry?
Or book your holidays because it's summer, so
yes. And there is a fun way to do it also is, for example, you can auto-response to emails that are scams, for example. If you have the Gen AI that can classify them or identify them as flag them as a scam, you can have fun and ask Gen AI to respond to them.
You can complete if you want.
Yeah, and for instance, again, if I go back to software development, it's it's a major disruption of the way we develop software. Recently, even Microsoft announced that 30% of the lines of code that they write, in fact, are written by agent, right?
30%, yeah.
30%, which is a lot. And then there are companies that report similar numbers. So imagine again how much you can speed up the development and in fact fixing some bugs, creating new projects thanks to the agents. And I, in my personal experience, because I'm leading a team of software researchers, but myself, I'm not a terrible programmer, right? So I was not able to contribute to our own projects, our own open source projects until now. I tried it before with previous models, including Claude 3.7, which was quite recent, but it's not the latest one. And it could help because there was this autocomplete suggestion. But now with Claude 4.0 and Cursor as a front end, it's amazing because I just give a task. In fact, now I use two laptops. One for programming, which is basically the agent doing the job, while I just oversee what it does. And then I have a second one where I actually do my work and PowerPoint presentations and Microsoft documents, right?
With another agent.
Exactly, right? So it's amazing. You give a task and the agent will try to solve it. But it will test itself whether the solution is working or not. It will find that there are bugs in his own solution. We'll go back to the code. We'll fix the code. We'll run the test again, completely autonomous. Okay. So it's really a major change.
Maybe in your work or what you do, at least, or here at PwC, what you've seen, have you seen some other use cases, maybe a bit more advanced? And we talked in the previous podcast about the difference between looking for use cases and looking for patterns, right? So patterns more across organizations where we can really get value out of these Gen AI or agents. So have you seen any maybe more advanced use cases here in Luxembourg or maybe abroad on top of these?
In Luxembourg, what I have seen, let's say lately now, and growing interest of clients are more in terms of use case, it's around KYC AML. I think it's something very interesting here in Luxembourg, and many companies are going that way and try to see how they can automatize their complex process of KYC and ML with Gen AI. And so this is one use case. There is other use cases in which companies are leveraging their internal knowledge, documentation, and giving access to chatbots to augment, let's say, and help staff and the employee access this internal knowledge through a chatbot. So this is another use case that we can see. And most of them, and then the third one is, which is the most common use case, let's say, is they are leveraging on Copilot to assist them in writing their emails or to have and to schedule their meetings. So that's
That's more Gen AI than agents. Then, or do you have?
when you are scheduling meetings, it's more agents, because I mean it can also do something.
Fair.
So whenever there is an action, and at the end we are talking about agents.
Okay.
I mean, I fully agree in the sense that agents today are still in the innovation departments, kind of, as a proof of concepts.
Yeah.
We don't see them yet, I would say, much in production. What companies are still in the previous generation of chatbots, right?
Yeah.
And typically what Mehdi was saying is also the scenario we see the most. When they come to us, they want some type of chatbot able to read using these retrieval augmented generation techniques, the documents, internal documents, and help employees finding answers. It's even internal chatbots, right? We're still in the testing phase. Companies are still a little bit scared of putting agents in production because, of course, there are some risks, so they are not really completely sure about this risk, about how to mitigate the risk.
Yeah.
So we're still in this testing phase.
Yeah.
There is a company here in Luxembourg who are using Gen AI, let's say, Gen AI to reduce the numbers of ticketing that they receive, the claims that they receive. And the KPI that they have is this one. It's just they want to reduce that by putting in place a chatbot that could already support, as they say, the first layer, all the customer that needs that. And at the second step, they are also using it to support, let's say, the technical people to resolve these issues by having access to past issues that were solved through that. So it's used on a different way. We have another client again in which he was using that in creating a user story for test purpose in software engineering. When you have to write test cases, Gen AI was also supporting that. It's not agent here. We're talking about agent, but just the Gen AI is complementary.
Okay, so I think we all understand that it's quite early stages, let's say, for agents, and companies are moving towards that. But specifically, so again, we had a podcast, I think 2 episodes ago, about adoption, and I think adoption with agents is also a big one. But it's exciting, but it comes with its share of challenges, of course. So from your experience, again, what would you say are the main hurdles, main challenges in bringing Gen AI, specifically agents, to organizations? And do you see any specific challenges for Luxembourg?
For Luxembourg, for sure, there's a multilingualism, right? We are in a country where there are 3 main languages plus English, so that's already 4. So, of course, if you are a company, and especially if you are a public organization, you need to be able to service your client or your users in all the 4 languages. And we have done some tests at least, and we have checked that basically most of the LLMs today, the big ones, are not that good when talking Luxembourgish. So if you need to provide a chatbot or an agent that is able to chat via text or via voice in Luxembourg with people, that's still a challenge. And so one challenge that we are trying to tackle at least. But that would be the first one already.
Okay.
On my side, the big, let's say, challenges that we can get, as you can expect, are most in regulation. So the clients are afraid about that, to tackle these questions. And there are also some concern about sending personal data or confidential data to LLMs that are the most efficient one are unfortunately on the cloud for now. But now with the new partnership with Mistral, we hope, that it will be locally. So public institution and Luxembourgish company who would benefit from that. It will already solve one of these problems. Okay, the other challenges that we can see here in Luxembourg are for some clients that were early adopter, but the early adopter of Gen AI, but it was not successful for them, unfortunately. So they lost the support from their internal stakeholder on that, and then unfortunately, it's hard for them now to innovate again on that field.
Okay. Yeah, Jordi, if you want to.
And I think that there's another one that it's also quite important, especially when you have some type of agent or chatbot that it's interacting with external people, which is the risk for the public image of the company. Right? Because imagine that you are in a kind of an e-commerce shop and you put a chatbot there and people use the chatbot to ask questions. So imagine that one of the questions is whether you are shipping products to a certain country and the chatbot hallucinates and says yes when it's a no, right? Of course, that would be a major concern because you will get complaints. But that's not the only case because, humans, we are sometimes have a weird sense of humor. So there's a metric which is called time to sex, which basically says that as soon as you put outside for the public any interface that allows people some freedom of interacting, it's very quick that somebody will ask some type of sex-related question, right? So if you put a chatbot on your company webpage, for sure somebody will go there 2 minutes later and ask some type of sex-related question. And if your chatbot is not implemented with a proper guardrails to make sure that all these type of funny questions are not answered, you can get, a chatbot talking about sex, maybe giving also biased answers or racist comments. And then people will, take a screenshot of your company website with that message. We put it on Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever, and you have have a public image problem, right? So I think there's also a risk that you need to keep in mind because it's difficult to really control completely all these, not the standard users of your chatbots when you put them outside.
Talking about that, I think talking about control, let's say, to a certain extent, I think for me there's a big one that I would like you to react on is governance, because then, we see here with Copilot Studio, I think it's quite difficult then to find the proper governance around these agents, because if everyone can create agents and just publish them in their company or outside of their company, I think there can be risks also around this. How do you see this challenge, and have you faced it, and do you see it in Luxembourg?
At least we are starting to put in place exactly a governance strategy, because as you say, one thing is to let them people play internally and learn all the tools. The other thing is whether somebody has the right to actually use them for external people. But also even for internal use, you need to put in place a governance, because as Mehdi was saying before, right, there's also these privacy concerns. So you need to teach people and put some rules about what you can ask to Copilot, what type of information you can provide to Copilot or any of the other LLM, right? Because people maybe are not aware and they just upload emails for translation or for summarization to one of these LLM without understanding whether this email is going to remain private or not, and that really exposes the leaks in the company.
Here, I think it's even a step forward. It's not even what you can ask, but what agents you can create, so what systems you can connect to it, and so there's even bigger of a challenge. Okay, but then going maybe a step deeper again, do you see any specific concerns from employees or leadership in Luxembourg or in your work that come up regularly regarding agents?
I think from the employee perspective, they are a bit afraid of AI in general, so that they will take their place. Of course, that's the let's say the famous concern of employee, which is quite concerning, because as you can see now, we're in social media. Now you can see that, for example, for marketing companies, you can see that with Gen AI, I'm not talking again about agents, but Gen AI can do a lot of stuff that could, of course, it can be scared. But what I can see is that there are, on the other hand, there are also some other smart people that leverage AI to be more efficient and do more creative and are more creative in their work, which is something that is good. So, and there is also another concern of the leaders on the usage of AI in a non-controlled environment. So, as Jordi was saying, is they're afraid of data leaks. So they don't want their employee to just go and use external cloud chatbot like ChatGPT that you have there in the cloud and leak your confidential data. So here again, I'm not talking about agents, I'm talking about GenAI, but it's just one step more and you are in agents.
I think every new technology brings always the same fear, right? We have seen this in the past.
Yeah.
So yes, people are afraid of losing their jobs. And of course, there are some jobs that are going to be automated. And if you are doing one of these jobs, you may be at risk. But then probably you are doing a job which is not so interesting, not even for you, right? So I think that any job that implies some creativity and some empathy, some kind of human interaction, so to understand the client, to understand what they want, to help them clarify exactly what they want, which is also kind of a common problem when you are dealing with clients, that they are ambiguous, they are not really even themselves with a clear idea of what they want. These are the tasks where basically the humans excel, and your agent will not replace that. Will not replace us on those tasks, at least not in the near future, right? So I think that if you are an employee, what you need to think is, okay, how can I change my job? How can I bring more things to my job now that I know that all these tasks that I had to do until now, they can be automated, so I have more free time to bring more value to the company. And that's the right mentality. You should be excited about agents and not afraid of them.
How we can accelerate your work. But I think then you started to anticipate the next question, which is how are we concretely addressing then these fears? I think that's one of them, to use agents and to accelerate our work. But can you share some maybe other concrete steps or initiatives that help to smooth out, let's say, the way to adoption for agents that you might have seen in your work or more broadly?
As you may know, Christopher, here at PwC, we were a bit early. We were an early adopter of the
Yes.
GenAI journey. And as you may know also that we have started with training people on that. So from all the level of stakeholders, from the juniors to the partner level, everyone was trained to understand how it works. We have put in place also a controlled environment. So we are sure that our employees are not putting confidential data on the cloud and using the OpenAI, ChatGPT and so on. So we had controlled environment. And we have run several awareness sessions. So everyone is, let's say, was accommodated to use the GenAI and play with it, and was encouraged to test it. So that's what I would suggest also, to do if you want to adopt GenAI. But again, I'm talking about GenAI, not AI agents.
I think you also need to keep in mind the regulation, right? Especially at the European level with the AI that puts in place some strong guidelines about how and what you can do with AI in general. And there, for sure, the key element is education for your employees, so that they know what they can do, what they cannot do, and how they are supposed to do that. But then you also you can put in place some mechanisms like the AI sandboxes, which basically, as Mehdi was saying, a control environment where you can deploy your solutions and test them in a way that you are for sure know that everything is going to be contained and there's no risk for third parties. So that was a really great way to start training the people and testing what you can do with agents in a safe and controlled environment.
Great. Then to come back, I think, to one point that Mehdi you were mentioning, there's one question that for me is super interesting, talking about this fear, let's say, of AI. There's another great podcast. So 2 years ago, they welcomed Geoffrey Hinton, and he stated in this podcast that, and I quote, "It's quite conceivable that humanity is just a passing phase in the evolution of intelligence," which is quite of a scary statement. I think we all agree on that. But without being this dramatic, it sometimes feels like agentic AI can be a step in the wrong direction in terms of autonomy that they get and how they can maybe control our work and how we interact with Gen AI on a daily basis. So what's your take on this? Do you think it's a step in the wrong direction, or do you think we can put guardrails on that later on? And
me personally, I don't think that it's a wrong step. No. With every revolution that we have seen in the past, there is some risks, of course, but I don't think that we are that far. That we are that far here. Gen AI is still, I think, the models are still controlled here. We still are a human who are developing and configuring all this stuff. So I don't think that there is a super intelligence here that can control and take over everyone. No.
Okay.
I mean, all the tools are neutral, right? Even nuclear energy is a neutral tool that can be used to produce energy or to produce bombs. So I don't think AI per se is a risk. Of course, the risk is people using it in the wrong way. But then again, there's education, there's control, same as any other technology. To be honest, I think that if we now using AI in medicine, in science, imagine that now AI finds a cure for a certain disease. I'm pretty sure that nobody would complain that this invention or this discovery was AI driven and not human driven, right? I mean, we'd be happy to be able to cure the disease, and we'd embrace the fact that it was AI generated. So I don't think we need to be scared. I mean, I think we just need to control how is used, but we are already doing that. And some even would say that in Europe, even too much, right? So that's a different discussion, but different countries, different groups of countries regulate AI in different ways. So that also introduces some kind of competitive advantages for some. But I would say that at least in Europe, the regulation is quite clear, and we just need to really embrace AI and leverage as much as we can to advance society.
Great. And we had the previous episode that talked specifically about regulation, but yes, indeed, in Europe there's quite a framework around it. Now let's look a bit ahead. How do you see, again, more specifically, agents and in Gen AI evolve in the future? Again, as we said before, we're quite at the beginning of the Gen AI agents, let's say, journey. Do you see any trends already developing on the market?
So I think we are moving more towards multi-agent systems, where basically instead of having just one agent, you have several of them. Before at the beginning, basically these several would be collaborating. So maybe it's a kind of a sequence of agents where each agent takes care of one task. But I think that more and more we see them competing in the good sense, in the sense that basically you will give a task, and there will be several agents that will propose solutions to this task, and then you'll be able to decide which one is the best one for your scenario. Maybe you will be the one deciding, maybe you will use other agents to actually evaluate and decide for you. But we are really moving towards this direction where you have a set of agents collaborating, competing. There are protocols that will help facilitate this communication. There's this agent-to-agent protocol, so that agents can talk to each other. There's the MCP protocol that Mehdi was mentioning before to let agents use tools. So we're really moving even more towards this autonomy where the human should stay in the loop. And in the end, you need to be the one validating the whole process. But where you have more and more agents provided by third parties, and you'll be able to have some kind of marketplace of agents where you can go see the agents that are available for your task, see what are the features they offer, not only in terms of price, not only in terms of energy, also in terms of accuracy, multilingualism, and so on. And you pick them. Maybe there are even reviews, right? Like when you have to book a hotel, so there's a TripAdvisor for agents, and you see other users that used the agent in the past, and they put a score on the agent quality. So I think we are moving towards this scenario where you'll be able to pick a set of agents, put them in place, let them talk, and then just validate the final decision.
Do you want to add anything, Mehdi?
What I would say is that with Gen AI agents, I think that automation is in hand of everyone now, and this is already a very big milestone for everyone, because non-tech people now can automatize their work without knowing any coding language. They can script, they can generate code and execute it. So I mean, really, it should be used by everyone now. I mean, that's what I would say.
Great. So this episode is coming to an end now, and to wrap everything else nicely, can you, for the people listening, can you give us 2 to 3 takeaways that you would like to share with the audience from the episode?
More than takeaways, I would give an advice, right?
Okay.
So I think
even
that
better.
each of us should really block time every week. I would even say one morning every week to play and to learn about AI. I think that many people are not fully aware of how much AI is going to change, not only work, but society in the next years. So I would really recommend everybody to put some time and invest some time on learning these things, playing with these things. Could be, creating images, could be creating agents, could be whatever. But to really understand the possibilities that are behind all this new technology. And I would say that not only people individually, but also companies should really push their employees and give them this time. There's in Google, there's this 20% free time where you can have your own project. So I would really encourage all companies to give some time to the people to think and play with agents and think about how agents could improve some of the internal processes or even bring some innovation in the company. I think that even if, sounds kind of a lot of waste time at the beginning, if you give just every single employee of your company one morning or dedicated to learning AI, I think that the companies that do that, they will really benefit in the long term.
Great. Thank you. And Mehdi, on your side?
I perfectly align with what Jordi said. It's completely true.
Great. Well then, I think this episode is coming to an end. So again, thank you for joining us today. I think it was a great and sharp episode. It was a pleasure to have you on this podcast. So this is Tech Talk, technology made simple over a cup of coffee. And now for our last question, what is your favorite beverage?
Nothing beats coffee. So I have 4 or 5 espressos every day.
Okay, 5 espressos. Great. And you, Mehdi?
Orange juice.
Orange juice. Okay. Also 4 to 5 a day?
Once per day, sorry.
Once per day, okay. Great, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all for today. This is Tech Talk, technology made simple over a cup of coffee. Don't miss out on any future episodes by hitting subscribe. Thank you for listening to this episode and see you in the next one.